The advantage of using a drone in search operations is to provide an elevated perspective and to participate in search operations using a thermal camera. It supports the progress of the K9 team, especially in terms of safety during nighttime operations. I am Bastien Gersh, a volunteer firefighter with the Indre-et-Loire Departmental Fire and Rescue Service and also a drone pilot for SDIS 37.
So let me introduce myself, Chief Warrant Officer Danny Dolek. I am a professional firefighter in the Department of Indre-et-Loire, and I serve as the Technical and K9 Advisor for SDIS 37.
It is important to be able to work collaboratively between the drone and the K9 teams so that the dog is conditioned to the presence of the drone near its search area. The placement of the takeoff and landing zone is crucial. The idea is to position it a bit farther away from their work and rest areas. It is also important to establish a marked zone separate from the K9 team.
The cooperation between the drone and the K9 works very well, as long as the dog is trained from a young age to work with the drone. For the dog's training, we have training sessions every Thursday. We follow the standard training curriculum, which includes searching for buried and missing persons. Once a month, we conduct training sessions with the drone operator to familiarize our dogs with the sound of the drone.
The drone support experiment within SDIS 37 began in June 2020, initially for missions related to firefighting. The idea was to assess the effectiveness of the firefighting nozzles that were in place. Are the nozzles effective on hotspots? Are they well directed by the ground teams? Quickly, the drone proved its effectiveness in terms of command chain, both in firefighting operations and in reconnaissance and the search for missing or lost persons.
The missions of the K9 team include searching for buried persons following incidents like building collapses, house explosions, or hillside collapses. Our dogs are capable of locating buried victims.
Before using the drone, K9 teams would engage in dedicated search areas without necessarily having prior knowledge of reconnaissance elements in dangerous areas that could disrupt the progress of teams and put them in danger.
For certain interventions, we request drone support to assist us in conducting more efficient searches and finding victims more quickly.
The addition of a Mavic 3 Enterprise drone to our drone fleet will provide longer flight duration, with batteries capable of staying airborne for up to 40 minutes. It also features an improved thermal camera with higher resolution, which will enhance our search capabilities. The use of the speaker, on the other hand, allows us to direct ground teams or reassure individuals in distress located far from the rescue teams. It also helps scare away birds near the drone that may interfere with its progress. The joint operation between the drone and the K9 team primarily takes place in the search for lost or missing persons, but can also occur during disaster operations, such as building collapses or after a storm, where the drone is needed for reconnaissance and to confirm the presence of victims.
In the case of a search for a lost person, the dogs conduct searches in the forest by tracking. The drone, on the other hand, follows paths to search ditches and fields. The thermal camera provides us with a time-saving advantage.
The integration of Flight Hub 2 allows us to provide information to the teams in the field through live streaming, which can help them obtain information and understand the situation from an elevated perspective. This is valuable for both the command chain and the responders, including K9 teams. This tool also enables us to create models and maps of collapsed and disaster-stricken areas, generating a 2.5D model that provides elevation data, terrain typology, and environmental information. The integration of Flight Hub 2 also allows us to divide search sectors between different teams. We can directly integrate defined sectors on the maps for both K9 teams and the drone. Thus, the drone pilot can focus on the designated sector. The data collected by the drone is initially analysed by the pilot, who selects the most relevant information to present. The command chain then reviews this information by retrieving images, videos, and other data to interpret according to their intelligence needs, whether it's thermal or optical imagery. In SDIS 37, the idea is to develop drone support to provide optimal operational coverage.
Plusieurs télépilotes et ainsi avoir une réponse opérationnelle optimale.
In France, an increasing number of fire and rescue services are adopting new technologies like DJI drones. The practice of using drones in collaboration with K9 teams is becoming more widespread and is now being used in many regions in France. Today, when dogs are deployed, drones are deployed and vice versa.